Compliments make us feel good, they make other people feel good, so why don't we give them more often, and why do we have such a hard time receiving them? In this video, I'm going to share some tips on how to give and receive compliments and some of the benefits that you might not have thought of for yourself and for others, both short-term and long-term, of sharing those positive thoughts. One of the simplest reasons that we might not share those thoughts with other people is because we're caught up in the hustle and bustle of our everyday lives. We might not notice the things around us. We might take for granted that this is just the way it's supposed to be, or take for granted the things that people do every single day or the way people are every single day. And sometimes too, it's a matter of us feeling like we don't have the time to stop and give that compliment, because maybe what we thought might be a quick positive thought might turn into a 1 or a 2 or a 5-minute conversation, and we might be in a really big hurry to get from point A to point B, and so we don't take the time to share that thought. Sometimes too, it's that we feel awkward. We're not used to getting compliments or giving compliments very often, so sometimes it feels really awkward. We don't know how to give them, or sometimes how to receive them as well. So we just don't share those thoughts with other people. It might be something too where you're not sure how it's going to be received. Especially if you're a man, you might not be sure what is a safe compliment to give or a proper compliment to give. I'm going to share some tips later, but those are some of the many reasons why we often don't share those compliments: being in a hurry, taking things for granted, or again, maybe just feeling awkward or not sure how the compliment is going to be received. There's the obvious benefit of sharing a compliment, that it's likely to make someone feel good in that moment and probably brighten their day. It can also have a pay it forward effect though. So you're not only often benefiting that person, but you're benefiting all the people that they come into contact with throughout the day as well. Think about when someone has said something kind or friendly or given you a compliment, and how it affects how you interact with other people throughout the day. It's very likely, if you say something positive to someone, that they're going to want to share something positive with someone else or notice positive things around them. A lot of the time we don't think of the wider implications. Well, implication sounds bad. The wider benefits of sharing something positive with someone. I recently had a situation at work where someone was having a difficult time. It was an extremely busy day. They were doing multiple tasks and trying to get a lot of things done, and they were feeling overwhelmed, and they even shared that they felt like they couldn't keep up and they were really down on themselves. And I let them know how much I appreciated the effort they were putting in. I let them know that I get overwhelmed too, especially when I'm having to do 2 or 3 people's jobs. I let them know that they were doing a great job keeping up in the situation, and that I appreciated also their positive attitude, because even though they were having a hard time and they were down on themselves, they weren't taking it out on anybody else around them, and they were just doing their best to get everything done. And I let them know how much I appreciated that. And I could tell that not only did it help alleviate some of their stress in that moment and help them feel a little bit better in that moment, but I could tell that it also was beneficial to their self-esteem. And a lot of the time, if you share a compliment with someone, if it's sincere and it's specific, then it's going to help them view themselves in a different way. Sometimes I'm really hard on myself. I know a lot of people are really hard on themselves. They blame themselves for a lot of situations, or they feel like they're failing. And if you share that positive thought with someone about the effort or things they've accomplished or things that you've noticed, then it can often help their self-esteem in the long term and help them view themselves in a different way. Sharing compliments can also build connections and friendships. There's someone at the gym who I hadn't really talked to before, and one day she came up to me in a class and she said, "You have really beautiful eyes." And she said she felt a little awkward sharing the compliment, and I felt a little awkward receiving it. I let her know how much I appreciated the compliment, that she had shared it with me. It's something though that now we talk fairly regularly when I'm in the class, and also too, every single time I see her, I remember that comment that she made, and it brightens my day. Literally every single time I see her, it makes me smile and it gives me that positive thought. When you share a compliment with someone, it helps them know that they're noticed and they're appreciated. There's someone who came into the place I work recently. She mentioned how much she appreciated my smile and the positive customer service that was given to her, and that it really brightened her day. And that made me feel good, which is another benefit of giving compliments, is that it not only makes other people feel good, it makes you feel good as well, because you know the impact that you're having. So whether it's giving a compliment or receiving a compliment, it really helps you understand that you matter, that you're making a positive change in the world. There's a customer who comes in regularly to work, and I've made it a point to let him know how much I appreciate his smile and the positive words that he always has to say, and that it really brightens my day. And I'm sure that makes him feel good. So it has a pay it forward effect. It can build connections and friendships. It can benefit self-esteem when you share compliments. It can benefit other people's self-esteem, and really put this positive energy and attitude out into the world that is going to be magnified. When giving compliments, the biggest tip I would give is to be sincere. People can tell when you're not sincere or when you're trying to manipulate someone. A few months back, someone gave me a compliment. I could tell it was just being given so they could hopefully get what they wanted out of the situation, and I let them know flat out that I was not playing that game. But just be sincere with the compliments that you're giving. Also, make it about the effort. If it's something about what someone's doing, make it about the effort, not about the performance. In the example I gave earlier, it wasn't about the fact that the person couldn't get 5 things done at the same time or how quickly they were doing something. It was about the effort and the attitude that they had in the job that they were doing. They were doing the best that they could in that situation, and probably anybody could in that situation. If you're giving compliments about something physical, it's best to give it about something that people can control. You could compliment someone's smile or their hair, and I've complimented people's nails, but in general, it's best to compliment things that people have control over. Or something you can do too is focus on actions. So someone's smile that they're choosing to smile, or their positive attitude, or the effort they're putting into something. When I've gone out sometimes, especially food service is such a hard job to be in sometimes, and people get very little respect or appreciation sometimes. I've been out and had someone give really great customer service, and I'll make it a point to let them know, but often too I'll ask for a manager, and I'll make sure that the manager knows what a great job they've done, or I'll leave a positive review online with their name in it so that they know that I really appreciated the effort that they were putting in. It's something that seems so small, but it can have a really positive impact on people when you mention that you appreciate their actions or the efforts that they're putting into something. When it comes to receiving compliments, I can sometimes feel a little awkward. Like a lot of people, we tend to discount our own work and accomplishments and efforts, and it can feel a little weird when someone notices us or something that we've done. A lot of the time, we'll dismiss it. We'll be like, oh, that was no big deal. That was nothing. If you don't know what to say, you can say thank you with a smile so the person knows that the compliment was well received. If you want to go a step further, it's great if you can let the person know how the compliment made you feel or how it affected you. If you think of times in your life when you've received a sincere compliment, it makes you feel really good. And if you share that with someone else, then it often will make them feel good as well. It has that rebound effect, and it's going to be more likely that they're going to share compliments in the future. There have been times when I've shared a compliment with someone and they've let me know that it's turned their day around, or that it simply put a smile on their face. Or in the example I gave earlier, it even helped someone change the way they viewed themselves. There have been times when people have shared a compliment with me and it made me feel really good that they noticed the work or the effort that I put into something, and I shared that with them, because it's important for people to know that their compliments, their positive words are having an effect on other people. It might feel a little awkward or weird, but if someone gives you a sincere compliment, give them a sincere thanks. Share those kind words with others. It just might brighten someone's day, and it might have a much larger impact than you think it will. If you have any suggestions on giving or receiving compliments or stories you'd like to share, please leave them down in the comments below, and I hope to see you in the next video.